Hi everybody, and welcome back to Alex Elliott Golf, and welcome to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Plenty more content coming throughout the summer to help you in your golf game. So this video is all about the difference between irons and driver, and I think a lot of people get kind of mixed up and they kind of think it's the same swing and the same effects on the ball. Well, in essence, it's two different swings. One we hit on the up and one we hit on the down. So for me, if we can clear this up for people, people can have a better understanding of what they're doing during the golf swing to actually allow them to commit to the shot better. And if we can commit to it and understand what we're committing to, then we're going to play some better golf. So today's video is going to tell you the difference between irons and driver, and we're going to run through the setup subtle differences to allow you to hit one on the up and one to get that nice crisp ball than turf impact. Like I said before, if we can commit to this and understand what the differences are, we can see some better improvements in strike, ball flight, and ultimately lower scores. So we said there's two subtle differences between iron and driver. One we hit on the up and one we hit on the down. So there are 3 points I want to talk about on each. The first point with driver is we want that bottom of the arc happening before the golf ball, so we can achieve that high launch and low spin. So that's really going to help us maximize carry, lower curvature, and all in all improve our driving accuracy. So how are we going to do that? And what I want you to do is I want you to place this alignment stick on the ground here, and you can see that I've really just put that club head behind the golf ball, and or you can actually put a coin down there, a club head behind the golf ball, and that's just something to focus on and a real point to focus on to get that bottom of the arc happening before the golf ball. So first point with driver is bottom of the arc happens before the golf ball, and this really allows us to hit it on the upwards arc. The second point I want to talk about is setup differences. So ball position. Ball position, I want you to feel that ball position is just inside your lead heel here. So reference point here, if I had an alignment stick down, we could see that was straight inside my lead heel. And then from there, what we want with the shoulders, you want to feel like the shoulders on a slightly upwards arc, and that's a really simple way of doing this. Get a little bit of upper body tilt, head slightly behind the golf ball, right where we have our alignment stick, the head feels like it is. Again, giving me the best chance of bottoming my arc out before the golf ball, hitting that driver on the up. So you can see here, my setup has given me the best chance of getting my bottom of the arc to happen on my red line and allow me to hit the driver on the up. Now, the final point I want to talk to you about driver is we've talked about the theory behind it, and what we want to achieve is that upwards hit on the golf ball, the setup of how we achieve that briefly. And the final point is, I think a lot of people almost feel like they don't swing this club a little bit longer. Now, with driver and with different seeing irons as well, with irons I'd always like to see my kind of iron swing finish roughly around shoulder height with the hands. Whereas with the driver, I'd definitely like to see people swing it a little bit further and get this club travelling just before parallel. So you can see here, the club's not gone past parallel, it's not overswing, it's feeling like it's just before parallel. And that really allows me to, one, generate a little bit more power and really wind up and create a better driver swing. I know in the past people said driver show and putt for dough, but definitely in the modern game now, there's a lot more an essence of hitting the ball a long way and really taking advantage of that in your golf game. And almost now, if you look at strokes gained, it's more important to drive the ball further and get yourself closer to the hole, because when that proximity is close to the hole, we've got a better chance of getting it closer again. So the 3 points are, point number one is setup. So we're talking about getting our head behind the golf ball to allow us to hit the ball on the up as point number two. And the final point is I want you to feel like you're going to swing this golf club feeling like it's just before parallel. And there what I talk about the difference between what my driver swing is and iron swing. So let's now talk about what we like to see in the iron swing. And you can see here the subtle changes. So we have the ball position up with the driver. You'll see the slight changes to help us achieve that downward sit on the golf ball. But the main points I want you to take away from this is that with driver, we want that bottom of the arc happening before the golf ball. And with an iron, it's happening past it. Right, let's hit one with driver now. So my points, ball position, head feeling like it's slightly behind, bit of the shoulders tilting up, longer swing, hit this driver on the up. So a really nice move there. Really felt like my bottom of the arc was happening on that red line to help me achieve that upward sit on the golf ball. Let's get into the iron. So we've said the subtle differences are one we hit with the driver on the up and iron we hit on the down. So I think for me, this is probably one of the missing factors. I think a lot of people don't really realise they have to hit the iron on the down and get that ball and turf impact. Because if we had that bottom of the arc happening before the golf ball, we definitely would be hitting kind of those duff and thin shots and really struggling to create that consistent strike happening around the middle of the golf club there. They'll definitely be towards the kind of bottom there, or even worse, catching the ground. So if we move our alignment stick now, and we'll move this just past the golf ball. So if I place my club head just in front of the golf ball now, I want you to put your alignment stick down there, and that's going to highlight where the bottom of the arc happens. On that bottom of the arc happening past the golf ball. So if we had our big bike wheel now that went around us, our bottom of the arc would be past the golf ball to get that negative attack. So if we had TrackMan here now, we'd see from a positive number with a driver, hopefully, to a negative number down with an iron. So how do we actually help achieve that? So we said with ball position with a driver, we have it closer towards our lead heel. Now, I've got 7-9 here. I roughly want this ball position just left of centre. So this is going to help me again achieve that downwards angle of attack, getting that ball and turf impact. And you can see because of this now, my shoulders aren't tilted up this way, facing towards the sky. My shoulders are a lot more level. I'm in a more neutral position. My head's on the golf ball, my sternum's over the golf ball, whereas before, I definitely had this upper body tilt to help me achieve that upwards angle. So you can see the subtle differences there. 1 in ball position, 2 in the setup and everything else around the ball. And then from there, the final difference I like to see, so the third difference with the kind of iron and driver swing, is the length of the swing. Now, irons, I always think they're more for accuracy. So for me personally, I like to feel I swing it a little shorter. Now, there are guys on tour like your John Ram, and other players like that who definitely have a shorter backswing and still hit it a very, very long way with drivers. So we're not saying that can't ever happen. It definitely can, and there's some great advocates, and John Ram out on the PGA Tour on the world circuit, swinging it short with the backswing, but still very powerful with the driver. However, I think for kind of your more amateurs and the people who play kind of socially, I think a slightly shorter swing with the irons is definitely worth looking into for yourself. So we said with driver, we like to feel it just short of parallel. Whereas to me now with an iron, once it's got this set up, I like to feel like I'm almost going to feel like a swing, so my hands are just on my right shoulder. And this allows me to feel like my backswing's a little bit more compact, a little bit shorter, and allow me to have that control through the shot. I mean, for me, this is how I would like to play, and this is how I'd play if I was playing a tournament, definitely. So if we summarise the main differences there before I hit this shot with an iron, 1 is ball position, 2, we hit 1 on the down and 1 on the up, 3 is the subtle differences in setup. So you can see here, I've not got upper body tilt. My shoulders are quite level, my sternum and my head are on the golf ball. And then from there, the length of swing. It's a little bit shorter with an iron than it is with a driver. Now, like I said, that's not for everybody, but in the main majority of people, I definitely would advocate that. So let's go ahead and hit this one now. I'm going to stand to it differently. So get my ball position just left of centre. Feel like my head's on the golf ball, my sternum's on the golf ball. Feel a shorter backswing. I'm definitely concentrating on my bottom of the arc happening past the golf ball. For some people, again, like I said before, this could be the missing factor to your golf game. Let's hit this one. So you can see there, I've got my highlighted where my divot was. My ball position was here, and now I've got a divot going through my line on the floor, whereas a lot of people sometimes get that divot happening before the golf ball and not even reaching our red bottom of the arc line on the floor there. Really simple. Put things down on the floor, use a bit of negative feedback, and you can definitely train yourself to work differently. Driver on the up, iron on the down. Thank you for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf. If you've not already, definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel. Plenty of content coming throughout the summer to help you and your golf game. Thank you, and see you next time on Alex Elliott Golf.